Necessity is certainly the mother of invention, and my guest today, Nadal Stelio, is a prime example of that. Nadal, it's so wonderful to have you with us. Your background is extraordinary, from an editor of our favourite magazines growing up, Clio and Cosmo, to now the creator of Recreation Beauty. Where did your journey with moving into product development rather than product testing start?
So I've always, as you know, been in magazines, and I've always been heavily involved in the beauty side of that. And what happened was I really struggled to get pregnant. So when it was about that time I was trying to get pregnant, it just took me so long, and I researched everything, and I went to doctors and naturopaths and did the whole thing, and I had unexplained infertility. It wasn't, there was no reason for it. They just say it's unexplained, go away, keep trying.
Which is such a common story, isn't it?
It is. It's actually getting more and more common. And so then I basically just ditched all of the chemicals out of my personal life, because the first thing you see when you are researching is that chemicals may play a part in your infertility. And we're just exposed to so many more of them now than people used to be. And there is a cumulative effect of getting them from your food, through your pesticides, your beauty products, on your skin, and then household cleaning products and all of that. So I just went completely chemical or toxic chemical free, and remade over all of my cleaning products and ditched every single product in my beauty cabinet, which was quite intense because I was a magazine editor and just had so much product.
It's like that garage sale that all your friends dream of, isn't it?
Yes,
it's like, Nadal's opened her wardrobe. This is awesome.
It was boxes and boxes and boxes. But the one thing I couldn't replace, because this was such a long time ago, it was like almost 12, probably longer, 13 years ago now, I couldn't get a beautiful perfume. So there was only, kind of vanilla or patchouli, and it wasn't really sophisticated perfume yet. That was what we call clean today. That was then. And then, I carried on. I just didn't use perfume at all for so many years. And I just really missed it. Like it's such an experience, and it's really that luxury touch you are used to when you're getting dressed. And I really missed it after a few years. So I just started investigating whether I could actually do it in Australia, find a perfumer who would work with me, and make something that didn't compromise on luxury, and was just as beautiful to use as your really expensive designer fragrance, but without all of those nasty chemicals in there. And that's where we are.
And you have created a really extensive range, and it caters for everyone. I was just on your website and went through the quiz and the questionnaire, and I found my perfect fragrance. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you came up with those different scents and different notes? And I guess anyone who's in their mid-40s, like me, we started with Impulse. We might have moved to CK1 was the next one, wasn't it?
I remember
if we were
those
brave,
days.
If we had a friend or a parent going overseas, it was like, grab me something fancy like a Chanel as we got into our teens. And then the Body Shop came up with this sort of collection of oils, but God bless
I remember
them, it was beautiful at the time.
Actually.
The musk oil, or the juniper oil, I think I was obsessed with at the time. But as you say, our journey with our own personal scent is something that we would have all carried with us from our early teens right through. So how do you go about finding what suits you best? And you guys have got it covered at Recreation.
Well, I knew that I really wanted to make something that was gardenia and jasmine based, because that is my absolute favourite. My absolute favourite scent. And that actually took such a long while to make. We didn't even launch with it because I just wanted it to be 100% perfect, and I actually launched with it, I think maybe a year or a year and a half after we launched the first few fragrances. So I knew I wanted that one. I knew I needed something that was rosy, because everyone loves roses. It's just such a fail-safe. And then I also I work with perfumers. So I work with these amazing perfumers. They create scents for huge companies. I was very lucky to work with them, and we just worked together, and I just tried little things about what I liked and what I didn't like, and we just narrowed it down, and I ended up with a musky scent, a musky sandalwood, a fig and citrus, a beautiful peony, and then the rose and the gardenia. So,
do you find that everyone has their signature scent? And I wear mine, morning, noon and night. But I love the sample packs that you have, that you could perhaps try something else and give yourself a bit of a different character, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously have all of them. So I choose something quite different depending on my mood for the day. So I'm less of a signature scent person, and I'm more of I'm such a Gemini. I just change things with my mood.
I feel you. 21st of June, on the cusp.
Yeah,
Cancer,
right.
Gemini, cusp.
Yeah.
There's three of me, so 3 cents at least.
Totally. And I also change with the season. So it's just starting, to be spring now, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need a floral fragrance. Whereas for winter, I was more into our musky sandalwood kind of deep scents. Now I'm like, oh, okay, maybe now I can start to wear some florals. So I did that this morning.
So it all started with the fragrances, and now you've moved into body oils and hair oils as well. Can you talk us through those products?
Yeah, so we've got a really amazing, I call it the 9-in-1 multitasker, and you can use it all through your hair, all over your body. You can even use it on your face if you're not super sensitive to fragrance in your face, because they do match with the perfumes. So they're first and foremost a layering product. So you use it all over your body, and then you spray the perfume and it layers together really beautifully. But they are also a treatment oil. So I didn't just want a really kind of cheap base. I wanted them to be a product on its own. So it stands on its own as a beautiful body and hair oil. It's really hydrating. It's got some gorgeous seaweed in there, which, helps draw moisture to your skin and helps overturn your skin cells. So it really cleared up the crepiness on my décolletage, which happens, and also your scaly skin on your legs. And then I also use it as a deep conditioning hair treatment, which is just fabulous. It just makes your hair smooth and soft and gorgeous. I keep them on my desk during the day, and I do my hands with them, and it just brings that luxury back as you're going through the day.
So you can use these all together or just as separates, but your 9-in-1 sounds like you've got it covered head to toe.
Yeah, it's the one product I take with me if I'm going away, because I know that I don't have to take anything else. I can just use this product, and I've got a hair treatment, after sun hair treatment, after sun body treatment, all of that's covered.
From someone who's been in the beauty industry from beginning to end, what does your daily ritual look like?
So I cleanse and in the shower, and then once I'm out, I'll do a vitamin C serum. And then we've also got a beautiful face oil. It's called Vibrant Skin Face Oil, and that's got bakuchiol in it, which is a plant-based retinol, and it's got just some really lush, lovely ingredients. So I just pop the oil on, and then I do a little 1-minute gua sha routine, which I don't know if you know what a gua sha is. It's a stone tool. Yep. And I've got my routine down to 1 minute because I get dressed very quickly every morning. I do that very quickly. And that's pretty much that, SPF and makeup, and off I go. I also do my body, of course, with the body oil. That's straight after the shower.
Do you have a self-care routine that you wouldn't let go? Are you a meditator or a mad exerciser? What is it that gives you your time that's just for Nadal?
I am a bit of a mad exerciser, but that's mainly because if I don't exercise, my back will go out. So I'm forced into it, which is helpful. And I didn't realise that, of course. You don't realise these things until your 40s, do you? You let your back go out for 20 years, and then suddenly you're like, oh, exercise really helps. So now I do that regularly. I also do it to regulate my hormones because I'm going through, all of that kind of stuff right now. So that really helps me get set for the day. And I find it such a big difference. If I don't do it of a morning, I can really, really tell. So I really try and make sure I do that about 4 mornings a week.
Mm-hmm. You are now taking care of yourself. You're living the good life. What do you wish your 10-year younger self knew? What would you tell your 10-year younger self?
Beauty-wise, I wish that I knew about two things: chemical exfoliation. So when I talk about chemicals, I only talk about the toxic ones, because chemical exfoliations, they're usually natural anyway, because they're fruit acids, etc., and they really have made a difference to my skin. And the second one is oils. So I used to be very scared of using oil on my skin. I've got oily skin, and I just didn't touch a single product with oil in it. I would go oil-free foundation, oil-free blush, oil-free bronzer. I would just never get anything with oil in it. And, my moisturizer was always oil-free. And I ended up with really dehydrated skin. So it was oily but dehydrated. And a few facialists had said this to me. And once I started, and it was when I started my kind of non-toxic clean journey, that I started using oils, and it has made the biggest difference to my skin. So now I can glow without being oily, because it really balances your skin if you get the right one for your skin. Obviously, if you use a really heavy something, it's not going to work for you. So you do have to find the right one. And I use our Vibrant Skin face oil, because that's for all skin types.
Your journey to no tox was obviously driven by a much deeper cause. For us that are just perhaps kicking off, to throw everything away and start again, as you did, is a pretty big deal. What's the one thing you would start with on our low tox journey?
Did my body lotion, because I was like, I'm putting this all over my entire body. Like, that's so much skin to cover. And that was the first thing that went, because I thought that's just getting absorbed so much, by your skin. And that was the first thing to go. And the second thing is fragrance, because fragrance can have up to 3,000 chemicals in it. And you actually don't know what is in your fragrance. And I think that was part of the thing. So we say that we're transparent and you know all of the ingredients in our perfumes. But there's no regulation that says you have to tell people what's in your perfume. So it's up to the company to say what is in their fragrance. And there are some serious chemicals in there, phthalates and a few synthetic musks that disrupt the endocrine system, which regulates literally almost every process in your body, and particularly hormones. So particularly for women, it's things that you can't really measure, like mood swings, weight gain, headaches. Where's this coming from? I just feel a bit off. It's those things, but then it can also lead to more serious diseases, autoimmune diseases, all kinds of things.
Fascinating, but frightening at the same time. It must have been a real shock when you were diving into that research, what you were uncovering.
It really is. And I tell beauty editors now, I'm like, don't start researching it, because once you start and once you learn what's actually in them, you can't unlearn it. And so it's in the back of your head. So you go to use a product and you're like, I don't think I'm going to use that today, and it's worth making the swap. And, when I did it 12, 13 years ago, there weren't a lot of fantastic swaps, but now there are. And the science has come a long way, and the whole clean beauty movement has come such a long way, and the products are not a compromise anymore. They're actually better than their counterparts. Their counterparts are cheaper to produce. They're only there because they've got cheaper ingredients in them, and they're much more efficient to scale and that kind of thing. So it's more expensive and it's harder to use green products, but I think it's worth it.
Well, thank you so much for your recreation and helping us on our journey to age well, to age better, and do it in a low tox fashion. Thank you. This is definitely a must try.
Thank you.